guys, welcome back to another video. In today's one, we're teaching Carrie how to jump with the saddle. Now if you guys have seen our recent videos, then you know that she struggled learning to jump, she was quite afraid of it, but she's picked up her confidence with time. So I thought we'd take it up a notch and get her comfortable with a small jump, but with the saddle on the back. So the way we started, I decided to use just the little white piping poles with jerry cans rather than an actual jump. The reason for this is that they look less intimidating, the height of it really is so easy to step over, so it's something that she should feel the most comfortable with doing. So the setup to start with is just keeping the two poles on the ground, because again, she finds it difficult with the saddle on her back, and as you can see the stirrups are down as well. So I just tried to create as a relaxing atmosphere as I could. As you can see, we're doing everything in trot, I'm not asking for any canter. She's still getting praise for going over it, even in walk, which is fine. You know your horse best, and there's no point to push them past the point that they're comfortable. So again, I'm trying to get it to move a bit faster, it's not really working, but it's about perseverance. And I won't move on, as you can see, I'm moving the whip a little bit more vigorously to tell her I want her to trot over it. I'm not totally happy with walk. But you just want to give them a chance to figure it out. You don't want to push them past their limits. And for the time being, I want her to get as comfortable as she can, just going over the two poles, which theoretically she should be comfortable with because we've done pole work with the saddle before. But this is set up as though it's going to be a jump, and that's why she's more hesitant. You can see I'm giving her plenty of space to trot around, to try and build up momentum. She's not really tracking up, but that's because she's not pushing herself to trot properly. And you could see she arched her neck then, so she was trying harder. And that's all I can ask. The reason that I don't want her to stop is because I don't want her to get into a state of mind where every time we overcome an obstacle, that's it. We just stop. I made that mistake before. It's quite hard to overcome because then the horse thinks that you're telling them off by not letting them stop. So it needs to be enough that you give them verbal reassurance, but that they can carry on. You can see that we've changed sides now because I was quite happy with how she ended it on that note. She's a lot more forward on this rein. You can see it was almost a little jump. And then I'm asking her to stop because I still want her to listen to me as best as she can. You know, equally, you don't want them to run off, but you also don't want them to keep stopping. So it's finding that balance of encouraging them forward, but then giving them a chance to just stop afterwards. So I opted for just doing 2 laps over the pole, because it's effectively just 2 laps of lunging in trot. So it's not really hard work. It's getting her comfortable with the stirrups moving. She knows what she's doing, I say I'm happy with it. And it's great. I bring her to me every time because I want her to gravitate towards me, not just walk off. And then to switch things up a little bit, I then got her to go downhill, which is a little bit more challenging because the saddle moves more, the stirrups move more. But it's good for her to have that change. You can see she's pushing herself a little bit harder. Now, I wouldn't at this stage get her to jump downhill because she'd likely lose her balance, then lose her confidence. But for now, as it is just 2 little poles, which effectively have the width of 1 proper pole, it's good enough. So once I was happy with that, I then switched it up and put one side of the jump up. Now, this is a great way to make it easier for them visually. As you can see, she went over it, she knocked it down, but she still pushed herself over it. It's just less intimidating to start with. If you put up a jump straight away, they might feel a bit cornered by it. But like that, if she wants to, she can drift right to the side. So although she's not picking her feet up great here, which again isn't necessarily her fault, because this is why you shouldn't use piping. But for me, that's what I think is easier for her at this stage. So she knows that she needs to pick up her feet. She knows that she's knocking it down. And that's what we're working towards. Again, if you've got a horse that isn't very careful, then it might be worth using proper poles, because obviously they're more weighted. See, she pushed herself too hard there. Panicked, because she didn't feel she could jump it with the saddle, and then stopped. So then I just asked her to walk over it, which again is another reason that I wanted it to be so low. Because being that height, I know she can step over it easily. So then we try again a bit calmer. She gets nervous, knocks it down again, but at least she went forwards. So then we switch sides, and although she touches it, doesn't fall down, which is great. You can see I switched the pole side so that the raised bit is closest to me. And she actually jumped it. She went into a nice little canter, and she didn't get spooked. And that's a huge thing, because you don't want them to feel afraid and just bolt over a jump. You want them to be able to do it calmly. So again, you see now she's picking up her feet. If you see that a horse is stuck on one side, just switch it up. So you can see there, I put the jump up properly, and I started on the other side, or the other rein rather, because she's more confident, clearly. So she's trotting properly, she's lining up, and she canted it, and she jumped properly. She got a bit scared because the saddle flaps, as you can see, but she also calmed herself down. If you saw, the lunge rope was pretty loose. That's the thing, I'm not trying to drag her around. She decided to trot it the second time, which is fine. Again, it's more about keeping her going forwards. I don't want her to see a jump and just think, oh no, I can't do that. So it's okay, you can see she's lost the confidence a little bit since jumping it, but then she did it again, had a little canter, went over it. This time she did stop afterwards, but I don't mind because she went for it properly. Now that she's successfully jumped at that side, I want her to do it this way. She is less confident, which is why she's doing it in trot. She knocked it down, that's fine. Try and give her a bit more space. See, she's a lot slower. But she looks at it and picks her feet up properly. And that's all you can ask for, really. So again, we do it once more just to confirm that she's got it and she knows what she's doing. And successfully, she jumped with a saddle. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and see you next time.